A single miscalculated unit rate in your contract can quietly drain millions from your construction budget before you even notice. Today, we are skipping the theory. I'm walking you through this exact industry standard Excel template so you can structure and verify your unit rates flawlessly.
We'll break down the exact math your project managers need to see. And yes, you can download this complete spreadsheet for free using the link below. To understand where most contractors lose their profit, we have to look past the physical assets sitting above the waterline. We must audit the massive volume of invisible costs stacked underneath it. Under standard contract forms like the FIDIC Red Book, your unit rates must be fixed, all-inclusive composite figures. That means your price has to absorb corporate supervision, shop drawings, non-destructive testing, and consumables. Now, these invisible costs, well, that's almost always exactly where the margin disappears. We've got to properly structure our pricing to account for literally everything sitting beneath that surface, right? We need to make sure every single drop of effort and material is captured long before the physical work even gets started. So it turns out the words supply and install probably don't mean what we think they mean. You see, supply isn't just about cutting a purchase order to a vendor and waiting for a delivery truck. It actually represents a massive, comprehensive logistical life cycle. Think about it. Material takeoff preparation, bidding, QA/QC, haulage, and unloading at a quarantine storage facility. And crucially, that supply rate must include an assessment for wastage factors, cutting margins, and any surplus. On the flip side, install encompasses the entire physical journey. We're talking removing that material from quarantine, all the way to skidding, hoisting, final fixing, and testing. If you just price supply as the vendor's basic invoice, well, your profit just bleeds out on logistics. The composite rate protects against this margin erosion because it forces accountability for the entire true life cycle. The real secret to all of this lies in the structure. If we look at the 7-level work breakdown structure for electrical and instrumentation, the core categories logically branch out. We go from the 800 series high-voltage power cables, breaking it down by core and voltage, right down to the cross-section dimensions. Or maybe we move from 900 series instrument devices down to enumerated flow and temperature sensors. But here is a massive warning for you. Accurate WBS coding at levels 5 through 7, it's absolutely mandatory. If your estimators misalign the coding for cables, trays, or devices at these really granular levels, any change orders and claims you submit will automatically be rejected by the client's commercial team. Misalignment here is basically a fast track to lost profit.
And keep in mind, these aren't just loose guidelines. These are strict contractual measurement rules inside a master matrix that, honestly, you just have to memorize. Take cables, for instance. The unit of measure is linear meters, sure, but the crucial inclusions dictate that tails within equipment and overpoles are absolutely not measured separately. Your rate has to absorb them. Similarly, fabricated supports are measured by weight, specifically net as executed. That means there are zero extra allowances or deductions for rolling margins, weld metal, or bolts. Understanding this matrix inside and out, that's exactly what ensures your baseline measurements are bulletproof against audits. Let's actually look at the anatomy of a cable pulling rate. What looks like a simple blue line on an engineering drawing is in reality a seriously complex series of labor-intensive tasks out in the field. Because the measurement is strictly point-to-point, the base labor rate has to completely absorb all the physical manipulation of the cable along that route. We're talking snaking, looping, pulling, and jacking through tricky conduit systems, plus all the temporary tying and binding using cleats and straps. All of that is deemed included in your single base rate. The ends also have to be protected against moisture before termination. So if you try to claim extra man-hours later just because a pull was mathematically difficult, well, that's going to result in a losing dispute for sure. Now, when that pulled cable finally reaches the panel, a termination requires a really rigorous 6-step process. In a pricing schedule, this looks like a simple, single enumerated rate, just one number. But wow, that single rate deems a lot included. Step 1, the extensive cable prep, like removing sheathing, armor, and screening. Step 2, supplying all the hardware, glands, seals, shrouds, and earth tags. Then moving to steps 3 and 4, that single rate absorbs the cost of drilling the cabinets and the internal routing of the tails, which, remember, is not measured in linear meters. And finally, the physical connection and the testing of that termination. A single unit rate carries the weight of all 6 of these intensive steps, so underpricing this sequence is a critical error. Moving right along to the infrastructure that actually holds it all up: cable trays, ladders, and conduits.
When you're measuring the running length of trays or ladders, that centerline measurement includes all the labor for cutting, notching, drilling, and cutouts. It also absorbs the assembly hardware, so things like splice connectors, hinges, suspension rods, and bonding straps. It even includes making good on the joints with touch-up paint or coating wherever the galvanized continuity is broken. The whole shebang is baked directly into the per-meter running length rate.
When we get to structural supports for E&I, there are two distinct realities you've got to face. First, proprietary systems like Unistrat are typically measured by net length or they're enumerated. The rate here absorbs the costs of cutting, ancillary brackets, and fixing to the background. But in contrast, fabricated structural supports are measured entirely by weight, in kilograms. This rate absorbs threading, tapping, welding, shims, and crucially, non-destructive examination. But listen up, because the real landmine here is the shared support rule. If a single structural support carries multiple disciplines, let's say heavy piping right alongside electrical trays, the pricing actually defaults to the unit rates of the discipline with the greater share. Without solid coordination between your estimating departments, your project can easily get locked into a really unfavorable rate. Switching gears to instrument installation and tubing scope for a second. It is definitely not just about physically bolting a transmitter to a stanchion. It is a comprehensive three-stage process, and once again, it's all wrapped into a single fixed rate. First up, the physical installation, drilling backplates, handling capillary tubes, and dealing with humidity control. Second is the complex tubing and pipework. That means marking, cutting, bending, dealing with unions and bulkhead penetrations, and washing out the tube systems. And third, the quality and calibration phase. So pre-installation checks, pre-calibration, loop check testing, and the generation of final calibration reports. If your team only prices the physical bolt on time, your profit margin on instruments is pretty much already gone. It's actually astonishing how quickly the small things add up to massive financial losses. Just think about deemed included consumables, cable cleats and ties, tags, markers and field labels, crimp rings, lugs, nuts, bolts, and washers, sealing compounds, and fire stop putty. There is absolutely zero extra over for these. These sundries cannot be billed as extras. A client is just not going to pay an additional invoice for O-rings and heat shrink sleeves. They must be absorbed entirely into the overarching composite unit rates for installation, which naturally requires meticulous historical data and discipline to price accurately within your base rates. So, moving to the final hurdle, testing, calibration, and loop checks, there are three distinct phases of readiness we have to cover. This ranges from pre-install readiness, which includes pre-calibration to vendor specs, right on through the execution testing of terminations, and finally to the post-install function testing and hydrotest isolations. Crucially, the contractor bears all the hidden costs here: testing equipment, specialized testing mediums, and the safe, compliant disposal of those mediums. They are entirely at the contractor's expense. Missing this in your unit rate buildup will heavily erode your margins right at the very end of the project, which, let's be honest, is usually when cash flow is at its absolute tightest. Synthesizing all these technical rules actually reveals what we call an estimator's trap map. Basically, there are 4 really common pitfalls where commercial teams lose money. Trap 1 is the cable tail trap. The reality is the linear meter base rate must completely absorb tails and overpulls. Trap 2 is the structural prep trap. Do not assume drilling or tapping control panels is billable as extra structural steelwork. It's included entirely within your gland rates. Trap 3 is the testing gear trap. Assuming the client provides testing mediums will cost you dearly. And trap 4 is the heavy support trap, forgetting that non-descriptive examination is explicitly deemed included in the per kilogram base rate for heavy fabricated supports. Avoiding these 4 traps alone protects a highly significant chunk of your margin. All this technical breakdown naturally points to the ultimate safety net, the 2 foundational rules of contract pricing precedence. Core Rule 1. In the event of a conflict between the preambles and the schedule of rates descriptions, the preambles shall take precedence. Every single time, they always trump the schedule. And Core Rule 2. Silence is not an excuse. A brief one-line item description in a bill of quantities never limits the scope of work, and it definitely never excuses missing items. The rates must cover everything necessary to achieve a fully finished, functioning system. Mastering your E&I unit rate schedules is the single best way to shield your construction project from margin erosion and costly contract disputes. To help you apply this to your own site, I've packaged the complete pre-completed Excel spreadsheet, along with a bonus PDF guide on governing pricing preambles. You can grab both right now via the first link in the description below. If you found this breakdown valuable, click the subscribe button right here on the screen to join our commercial management community. This video is just the first step. Click on the playlist on your screen right now to dive into the rest of this series where we break down the unit rates for civil, structural steel, piping, and other construction works. I'll see you in the next breakdown.